Hello, welcome to my channel of China and the world. My name is Man. Just to be clear, this channel is not sponsored by the Chinese government. I was born and raised in Hong Kong when it was a British colony and currently living in Australia, a Western democracy. I know too much about China and the West. In this channel, I am going to tell you the truths mainstream media have been hiding from you. Truths all of us should know. Hope you enjoy my channel.
Following is a rather complete report for your information on a recent proposed Ukraine peace talk. The report is on the Chinese Tencent website. The EU asked the Ukrainian side for peace talks, and Zelensky agreed, but there is one condition that China must be present. The EU asked Ukraine to have peace talks with Russia, Zelensky agreed, but there is a prerequisite: China must participate in the negotiations. Ukraine agrees to peace talks. Why must China participate? Should China agree to Zelensky's proposal? If Zelensky's demands are met, can peace talks with Russia really be held? With regard to the above three issues, I will start with Ukraine's attitude towards China's position and give you an in-depth analysis. On March 3, the President of the European Parliament Metsoura visited Ukraine and met with Stefanchuk, the chairman of the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine. The two sides discussed China's peace plan. He attaches great importance to China's peace plan. Some people revealed that the three countries of Germany, France and Ukraine once held a secret talk in Paris. Zelensky proposed new peace talks conditions, saying that he would choose only when the top leaders of China and the United States participated in the peace talks. Negotiations with Putin. Judging from Zelensky's voice, Uzbekistan has considerable expectations for China's role in the negotiations. The first question: Ukraine agrees to the peace talks. Why must China participate? Ukraine agrees to peace talks with Russia, but China must participate. Why? The West dominates the peace talks, and it is difficult to get mutual approval from both Russia and Ukraine. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has been going on for more than a year. With the expansion of Ukraine's battlefield disadvantages, the internal partisanship between the United States and Germany has intensified. Both Ukraine and the United States and Germany are a little tired. If this situation continues, Ukraine will definitely be worn out. Biden and Scholz will also face the risk of losing popular support and losing the general election. In such an environment, no one in the Western countries wants to compete with Russia, so Ukraine can only cooperate with NATO to release rumors of peace talks. But only let the West state-led peace talks will certainly not be recognized by Russia. In order to get Putin to sit on the negotiating table, China, which has a good relationship with Russia, must come forward. If China comes forward to mediate, then Russia may consider negotiations. The position paper proposed by China is not harmful to Ukraine. Another important reason why Zelensky asked China to participate in the peace talks is to focus on the position paper issued by China. On February 24, China released China's position on the political solution to the Ukraine crisis. In this document, China proposed to protect the territorial and sovereign integrity of all countries, and gave Ukraine the idea of solving the humanitarian crisis and post-war reconstruction. Judging from the position released by China, Zelensky believes that it will be of great benefit to Ukraine's negotiations, so he is willing to let China participate in peace talks. China has a certain status and influence in the world, and China acts as a mediator, and both Russia and Ukraine have more trust. Of course, China itself also has a certain status in the international community. As the world's second-largest economy, it not only has good relations with Russia and Ukraine, but also does not worry about being pressured by the United States and Europe. It is good, If Zelensky can ask China to act as a mediator, then at least in terms of persuading peace and promoting talks, Russia and Ukraine may trust China more. The second question: should China agree to Zelensky's proposal? Should China agree to Zelensky's proposal to let China act as a mediator? On the plus side, if China mediates the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, it can enhance China's international status and comprehensive national strength. Previously, on January 28, German Chancellor Scholz visited Latin American countries. Among them, Brazilian President Lula expressed that he would recommend China, India and himself as a mediation team. This reflects China's international influence from the side. The Russia-Uzbekistan conflict can further enhance its international status and enhance its international appeal. In addition, China is committed to promoting peace and talks, and it will also allow countries that oppose NATO's oppression to stand on the side of peace. When the time comes, China will be able to better unite developing countries, work together for a win-win situation, and enhance the country's comprehensive national strength. On the downside, the results of China's mediation will be questioned or smeared, and it may involve itself in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. However, there are risks in mediating the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. China is invited to mediate the conflict, but the United States will also be in the mediation team. This also shows that the attitude of Ukraine's peace talks will be largely influenced by the United States. The Biden administration has been looking for opportunities to weaken China and Russia. If China participates in the peace talks, the United States may take the opportunity to discredit or question China's position and misinterpret China's mediation efforts. At that time, Ukraine may break relations with China, making it more difficult for the Russia-Ukraine conflict to end. Regarding Zelensky's proposal, the Chinese side cannot agree immediately, and needs to wait until the time is right before considering acting as a mediator. Now the situation between Russia and Ukraine is more complicated. The spring war between the two sides has already started. Russia has expanded its military and prepared to take Donbass. Ukraine has also received a large number of Western military equipment. It is not a good time for China to mediate. During the 2024 general election, the participation of the U.S. government in the Russia-Ukraine conflict may decline. If China wants to promote peace talks, this time may be a key node for mediating the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The third question: if Zelensky's demands are met, can peace talks with Russia really be held? If Zelensky's request for China to come forward is met, will Ukraine really be able to conduct peace talks with Russia in a stable manner? In addition to asking China and the United States to participate, Zelensky also put forward 10 proposals, which are a major obstacle to the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. On November 15 last year, Zelensky put forward a 10-point proposal on social platforms, of which Article 5, Restore Ukraine's Territorial Integrity and World Order, which may become the biggest obstacle to the peace talks between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky means, in addition to the Udon region, Crimea should also be returned to Ukraine, and the latter is one of Russia's most important military and economic strategic locations. It is absolutely difficult for Ukraine to meet this request. Therefore, even if Russia and Ukraine, if you want peace, it is difficult to negotiate a result on this matter. Zelensky has a clear pro-Western attitude, and if he is forced to negotiate peace, it may become the second Minsk agreement. Ukraine's pro-Western attitude is very clear now, and most of the peace talks will be in the interests of Western countries. As former German Chancellor Angela Merkel said before, the Minsk Agreement was signed in 2014 to delay Russia's offensive and give Ukraine time to breathe. Now, after more than a year of fighting in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, Ukraine's elite troops have been exhausted, and it is difficult to guarantee combat effectiveness. Peace talks have become a backup option. If Zelensky is forced to negotiate under Putin's pressure, no one can guarantee this negotiation will not become the second Minsk agreement scam. Even if China wants to mediate, with the obstruction of the United States, the peace talks are destined to not proceed smoothly. Putting aside the relationship between Russia and Ukraine, Zelensky asked China and the United States to participate in the peace talks. On the one hand, he wanted to drag China into the water and give the United States an opportunity to target China. On the other hand, he also wanted to use the United States as a backer to force Russia to meet its own negotiation conditions. If China's mediation plan fails to achieve Ukraine's goals, then Zelensky can also use the hands of the United States to block it. Therefore, if Ukraine does not change its pro-Western attitude, it will be difficult for the Russia-Ukraine peace talks to proceed smoothly under the obstruction of the United States. In general, Zelensky asked China to participate in the peace talks. He has both the idea of quickly ending the conflict and the purpose of targeting China under the instigation of the United States. If Zelensky really wants to end the conflict and return to a peaceful state, he must first do the most important thing, is to change the pro-Western attitude and eliminate the conflict between Russia and Ukraine from the interests of the two peoples. Only when both sides have such determination can China play a real role in mediation. This is for your reference. Good to have both sides of the story.
Thanks for watching. If you want to know more truths about China, truths that the mainstream media are hiding from you, please comment, like and share my videos. Talk to you soon.